WorldWithWife is back on the road, and today our grand tour of the USA takes a bizarre, magical turn. After exploring Santa Monica, Venice Beach, and Santa Barbara, we drove north into a freezing, heavy winter fog, only to emerge in what looks exactly like a 19th century Danish village. And we ended up in a fairy tale town. See for yourself. When we started our drive this morning, it was 5 degrees Celsius. The fog was so thick we could barely see the hood of our car, and honestly, we thought our day was completely ruined. But as we pushed further north from Santa Barbara, the fog suddenly vanished, and the California highway completely disappeared. Instead, we were teleported thousands of miles away. Later in this video, we're going to show you a hidden courtyard and a traditional Danish feast that completely blew our minds. But first, you need to see this. We went to sleep in California, but we woke up in Denmark. Welcome to Solvang in California. In this high-value travel guide, we're going to show you why this hidden gem in the Santa Ynez Valley needs to be on your bucket list. We will explore the incredible European architecture, uncover the history of this sunny field, and taste test our way through legendary Danish bakeries and the famous Aebleskiver. From half-sized Little Mermaid fountains to towering windmills and hidden wineries, we are uncovering everything you need to know before you visit. Located right in the heart of the Santa Ynez Valley, this town is an absolute glitch in the matrix. Solvang translates to sunny field in Danish, and it was founded back in 1911 by a group of Danish Americans who traveled west to escape the brutal Midwestern winters. Today, about 6,000 people live here, and they have preserved this fairy tale aesthetic perfectly. It's not just a tourist trap, it's a living piece of history. Stepping out of the car, the very first thing that hits you isn't the architecture, it's the smell. The crisp morning air was just loaded with the scent of butter, cinnamon, and fresh coffee. It was intoxicating. We strolled past the Paula Pancake House, the Solvang Brewing Company, and the Gathering Table. Every single building, right down to the Mechanics Bank and the Royal Copenhagen Inn, looks like it was ripped straight out of a Hans Christian Andersen storybook. But as we walk further up the road, we hit the Royal Copenhagen Inn. And we have to pause here because this place is a total trip. The outside facade of this inn isn't just inspired by Europe. It was actually built to be an exact duplicate of a traditional street found in the capital of Denmark. It literally looks like a neighborhood village just dropped into the middle of California. If you peek inside, it completely hides a secret outdoor garden patio, right in the center, complete with a heated pool and a giant, life-size chessboard. Every single room in there has completely different Danish architecture. Some even have vaulted ceilings and two-story lofts. If you want to wake up, step outside your door and instantly smell fresh Danish pastries from the bakeries next door. This is the ultimate base camp. As we kept walking, we passed Casa Casara Winery. And if you're wondering if wine is a big deal here, one word, absolutely. Solvang sits in one of California's premier wine regions. Most people completely miss this, but the climate here actually rivals some of the best wine valleys in Europe. Have you ever stumbled upon a town on a road trip that completely surprised you? Let us know in the comments. We're always looking for new hidden gems for our next tour. At the junction, we found something incredibly special. A bronze Little Mermaid fountain. It's actually a half-size replica of the world-famous statue in Copenhagen. From there, we crossed over to Alisal Road and found Frederick's Court. It feels like a secret garden hidden within a hotel, with a stunning patio. The architecture along this road gets even more intricate. That classic half-timbered style with thatch-style roofs. So, how did a piece of Northern Europe end up in the middle of a California valley? To understand Solvang, you have to go back to 1911. 3 Danish immigrants, Benedict Nordentoft, Jens Gregersen, and Peter Hornsild, were tired of the brutal Midwestern winters. They bought about 9,000 acres of this sunny field for just $40 an acre, intending to create a Danish colony that preserved their language and culture. Interestingly, the town didn't always look like this. Originally, it was a standard-looking California pioneer town. It wasn't until after World War II that the community decided to lean into the Danish village aesthetic to attract tourists. They added the half-timbered facades, the thatched roofs, and those iconic windmills, transforming the town into what we see today. Now, Solvang is about 2.4 square miles, or roughly 6 square kilometers. It's a tight-knit community of about 6,000 people, but they host over 2 million visitors a year. And then, towering over the street, we saw it. A massive, traditional windmill. As the morning warmed up, it turned into the perfect walking weather. We couldn't resist stopping into the old Danish food farm. We picked up some locally made fudge for about $6 to $7 a slice. If you've never had proper, traditional fudge, it's a completely different experience than regular chocolate. It's a careful crystallization of sugar, butter, and milk, cooked to exactly the softball stage. It melts in your mouth instantly. Getting here is part of the magic. If you're coming from Santa Barbara like we did, it's a quick 45-minute drive north on the US 101. You'll take the exit at Buellton and head east on Highway 246. Or, for the more scenic Grand Tour feel, take Highway 154 through the San Marcos Pass. The views of Lake Achuma are incredible, but keep an eye on the fog like we had to. We walked all the way up to the Cork Hotel, which sort of marks the edge of the illusion. It seems that we have reached the edge of town. We have already walked quite a fair bit. Perhaps it is now time to turn back, and also turn our attention to the Solvang windmill. Now, there are actually 4 major windmills in town, but this one on Alisal Road is the one you've likely seen on every postcard. At the base, you'll find a charming gift shop filled with Scandinavian souvenirs. But if you look up, you're looking at Viking Tower Pizza. It's one of the most unique dining spots in the Santa Ynez Valley because you're literally eating inside the tower of a windmill. They are famous for their thin crust pizzas, voted the best in the valley for years. And the atmosphere inside is total Viking meets Italian fusion. Right next door, you'll see a building that looks a bit like a giant brick cylinder. That is the Rundetarn, or Round Tower. This is a 1/3 scale replica of the famous 17th century tower in Copenhagen. In Denmark, the original was built as an astronomical observatory with a spiral ramp inside, so a horse and carriage could drive to the top. This entire corner is a sugar lover's paradise. You've got traditional candy shops where we stop to grab some authentic Danish sweets. And the smell of waffle cones from the nearby ice cream parlors is everywhere. It's impossible to walk through this part of town without your camera, or your wallet being out the whole time. We were surrounded by bakeries and ice cream shops, each more original than the last. The whole area feels like you've stepped onto a Disney set. Alisal Road acts as the town's cultural and historical spine. It's where you'll find the most concentrated collection of Solvang's landmark replicas and some of its oldest functioning buildings. This road is arguably the best foodie stretch in town, housing several of the original institutions that put Solvang on the map. We ducked into Bergholm's bakery and cafe. My wife was starving, and honestly, the display cases here are dangerous. We paid about $6 to $8 per pastry, but the flaky, buttery layers were worth every single penny. To fully experience the Danish Capital of America, 1 to 2 days is generally the ideal duration. A single day allows you to hit the major bakeries and museums, but an overnight stay at a place like the Royal Copenhagen lets you enjoy the town. After the day trip, crowds disperse, which is when the European ambience truly shines. This is Copenhagen Drive, and this is the vibrant, beating heart of Solvang's commercial district. It is where the town's fairy tale aesthetic is most concentrated. Walking down this street feels like a choreographed transition into a Danish village, lined with gas lamp-style streetlights, and buildings featuring the classic half-timbered style. This street is the epicenter of the town's famous bakery culture and boutique shopping. All those pastries just opened our appetites for the main event. We wandered down Copenhagen Drive until we found exactly what we were looking for. The Aebleskiver Cafe, home of Arne's famous Aebleskiver. If you had to choose between a fresh Danish pastry or a massive plate of pancakes for breakfast, which one are you taking? Drop your breakfast loyalty in the comments. Oh, if you don't know what Aebleskiver is, you are missing out. Imagine a pancake, but cooked into a perfectly fluffy, spherical ball using a special cast iron pan. They serve them piping hot, dusted heavily with powdered sugar, and paired with raspberry jam. Paired with a hot coffee, it was the ultimate comfort food. With full stomachs, we slowly made our way back to the car. We passed the Copenhagen House and strolled down 2nd Street. The main business of Solvang is tourism. The town's economy is almost entirely driven by its nearly 2 million annual visitors, who come for the architecture, Danish festivals, and the surrounding Santa Ynez Valley wine industry. If you want to settle down here, the median home price in Solvang typically ranges from $1.1 million to $1.8 million. Smaller cottages closer to the village center command high prices per square foot, while larger estates on the outskirts can easily exceed $3 million. Even the buses here look like they belong in a European transit system. We made one last stop at the Windmill at Hamlet Square for some final photos. Solvang is proof that you don't always know what's waiting for you on the road. We started the day driving blindly through freezing fog and ended up eating Aebleskiver in a sunny Danish paradise. The key takeaway here? Don't let a bad morning forecast cancel your road trip. During your visit here, walk around town. Take your time. Try to locate the 4 windmills. There are other Danish replicas that you can also locate and photograph. We have shown them to you. They're the Round Tower, which is a 1/3 scale replica of the 17th century astronomical observatory in Copenhagen, and to the Little Mermaid fountain, the only replica in the world, authorized by the heirs of the original sculptor, Edvard Eriksson. Oh, one last thing. The closest commercial airport is Santa Barbara Municipal Airport, located about 30 miles south. From major international hubs, Los Angeles International is approximately 125 miles south, typically a little less than a 3-hour drive, depending on traffic. But our grand tour of the USA is far from over. Next week, we are leaving Europe behind and heading back to the spectacular California coastline as we explore Pismo Beach and San Luis Obispo. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it, and we will see you in the next one.